Welcome back. Time for the International Press Review now with Florence. Hi, Florence. So we're looking at the international papers and the aftermath of the London riots continuing to get a lot of press, especially now we've seen overnight and today looters will be appearing in court.
That's right. British courts are sitting around the clock to administer fast-track justice for these suspected looters. We're going to start by looking at The Sun, the right-wing tabloid, which has a piece called Meet the Accused. It's really incredible, especially seeing this in France. They basically introduce the people that are accused of looting, giving their names, showing photos of them, and they have this shocking article that basically shows these looters from a millionaire's daughter to an 11-year-old boy, and they call them the faces of the looters. So once again, this is really incredible to see this in France. You never kind of see this exposed people. And we're going to take a look at a poll carried out in The Sun, carried out by YouGov, which is an independent, pretty much impartial thing. And it says that, it shows that people are really in favor of strong police repression. Now, 9 out of 10 people think that police should be able to use water cannons. And this is really incredible. 33% of the people that they questioned think the police should use live bullets against the rioters.
Wow.
And meanwhile, there's also an opinion poll about David Cameron. He's drawing a lot of fire for the way he's been dealing with the unrest. 57% of people think that he's dealt with the crisis badly. Now, Cameron he is on the cover of The Independent, also drawing fire. Cameron under attack because of the riots.
Okay. Well, there's an interesting piece in The Guardian today as well, isn't there? And it uses some very interesting terminology about the looters.
Yes, the piece wonders what we should be calling these rioters, because at the very beginning, the BBC was calling them protesters because it seemed that they were reacting to the death of Mark Duggan. But several days later, it became unclear about what they were protesting about and whether they were protesting about anything. Now, people accused the BBC of being too politically correct. Some people said that rioter wasn't even a strong enough term. They were calling them thugs, hooligans, and some people went so far as to call them terrorists. So it's interesting to note that what's excessive for some is appropriate for others. And one thing that's clear is that tabloids have few linguistic qualms. They've been calling them morons, thugs, and idiots.
Yeah, we've had a whole range of descriptive terms for them, haven't we? Well, staying with the English press, many exploring today the racial element, particularly since 3 Asian men were killed in Birmingham.
That's right. Now, we're going to look at a piece in The Guardian. According to this article, the 3 Asian men were killed by a speeding car driven by an African Caribbean man. So this raises the question, an uncomfortable question that's been here since the beginning, which is to what degree have tensions between different ethnic communities and the wider issue of racial and cultural alienation, how much has this played into the riots? Now, according to this article, simplistic judgments are easy, and the answer is really complicated, and it depends on the different areas. But one thing that doesn't help the matter is that the English Defence League has come out, many say, to exploit these community tension.
And of course, after riots, we're now seeing the clean-up several days later, and some of the papers showing pictures of the people who've come out in the community to help with all this tidying. With
the cleanup and also with calls for peace, we're going to look at the cover of the International Herald Tribune, where there's a photo of what they're calling it a colorful post-it peace wall. Basically, all it's in Peckham. The people have boarded up, have put post-it notes on a boarded-up store, calling for peace. Now, there's also this photo has been taken up by the Independent as well. They're calling it "Mend It Like Peckham," so a play on words with the "Bend It Like"
pun, isn't it?
Beckham. And so they're calling this a patchwork quilt, a comfort blanket for the soul of a riot-torn London.
And moving on to a totally different story, there is some other stuff in the papers, isn't there? China has started sea trials for its very first aircraft carrier. Do we see pictures of it?
Yes, it's on the cover of the China Daily. You see a photo of it. It headlines "The Maiden Run" for this carrier. Now, there's a piece inside by Wang Xiaohuan. Now, he's a senior captain of the People Liberation Army, and he says that this is a boon for the Navy and it's a security for the nation. And he's well aware that this is drawing concerns from many countries about China's rapid military buildup, but he insists that it's for peaceful regions.
Okay, Florence, thank you for those interesting international headlines here on France 24. Stay tuned, we'll have much more coming up for you very shortly.